Hey everybody, how's it going? Stoutman coming back at you once again, and today I am feeling kind of crappy because of this illness that's been going around. I'm not sure what it is. People are calling it the flu, but I mean, the flu is something that like kills people, and I do not believe this is something that has killed anybody recently, so I don't know, but whatever it is, I have caught it. And it was just the slowest thing, too. It was just like, it took a few days of just like randomly feeling a few little scratches in my throat before it finally like full on developed into something that is now just, yeah, well, not even paying attention to how my hair looks, really. It's not good. I'm not feeling very good right now. So I said I'm just going to go ahead and record these videos and get them out of the way. If you notice, I believe last video, you probably saw this looked a lot different. Well, if you pay close attention, most of these are in a particular order. If you look closely, you'll note they're all sorted by some sort of genre or something. And if they're not a genre, then it's like, it's on the right over here, my right at least. They're sorted by like a specialty, so got Criterion's in there, I've got Shout Factory in there, I've got, that kind of stuff in there. So the good news with that is that I am finally getting to the point where everything is getting sorted out the way I want it to, and I am very close now to being able to just put everything up on the shelf. So we're good to go. We're working on it. We got it. So anyways, last week I went to Goodwill. I found some pretty interesting titles. I just wanted to go and see what they had, and I was pleasantly surprised by what they had. They had a lot of good stuff there. Usually when I go to a Goodwill, it's very difficult to find anything worth it because they charge a lot more than some of the other stores will. So, it's like $2.50. If you buy 4, it's $2.50 per title, which to me is still a little expensive, but I mean the regular price for one title is $2.99. But, well, it's not the worst thing ever, and I found one particular title that made the whole thing worth it. Like, literally paid for, and I'll explain exactly what I mean by that, literally paid for everything that I got. So, the first thing I found that I wanted to show you was a movie called After Hours. This movie is I don't know if you can tell there, a Martin Scorsese film. When I saw it on the shelf, I was like, that looks strange. I've never heard of this before. And then I looked in the back and saw it directed by Martin Scorsese. And that immediately got me like, holy cow, a Martin Scorsese film I've never heard of before and never seen. Well, that's got to be rectified. And so even though it's apparently not worth a whole lot of money, I still decided to go ahead and pick it up. I felt like it was a fairly decent price and in really good condition for what it is. So, yeah. And I did actually get around to watching this. I did watch this after picking it up, and I enjoyed it, actually. I thought it was really good. As I was watching it, I kept thinking, this belongs in the Criterion collection, because it's got shades of Taxi Driver, but it's also almost like a very weird, kooky, kind of goofy kind of movie. And it of course shows a lot of love for New York, which a lot of his movies have that theme of a love for New York, or at least a lot of his earlier work does, But there's a lot of weird stuff that happens in it that's just like, it's almost like a dream or something like that. And it reminds me of stuff that I saw from like New Hollywood movies from like the 60s and whatnot. that weird dreamlike kind of stuff that it was like they were bringing dreams to life, per se. Yeah, I didn't know exactly what to think of it, but I really actually I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I got it because this is one I'm going to have in my collection. Well, until they actually do put it on Criterion or Shot Factory or whoever the hell decides to pick this up, I'm hoping that one of the major labels decides to pick this up because this definitely deserves some love. Next up, I found Freaky Friday, the original Freaky Friday from Disney here, starring Jodie Foster. It's been a long time since I actually saw this movie, and this has been on my wish list for quite some time because, well, I never really see it out in the wild, and when I do, it's usually not very cheap, so, I've been holding off on it, I guess, just to wait and see if I can find it for like a buck or two out in the wild, and lo and behold, I did. Now, the condition of the case that it came in was terrible. It just looked terrible. So, I think this actually might be it. It was one of the blockbuster cases. So I went ahead and put in a different case. This is just, for temporary time being. I believe this is the case that Into the Woods came in, and then I took that out and put it into an actual Blu-ray case, and, because it was a Blu-ray. So, yeah, blue case, kind of weird, but whatever, I figured. Doesn't really matter all that much. It's a used copy of Freaky Friday. The disc was in really, really good condition, and it's been so long since I actually saw the original movie here that I definitely wanted to go back and check that out at some point. So, yeah, pretty good deal for that. Next up, I found a movie called Revenge, starring Kevin Costner. And originally, at first, I was like, I don't know. Kevin Costner was in a lot of crap back in the late 80s, early 90s. At the same time that he was, doing a lot of high, like, big name stuff, you know what I mean? High quality stuff. Robin Hood, for instance, But at that same time that he was becoming such a big name in Hollywood, he did a lot of stuff that was maybe not so good. So when I saw the title, I thought, is this one of those cheapo movies that just so happens to be like rare and hard to find or something? And I looked it up and it's not, but I looked a little closer on the back and discovered this was directed by Tony Scott. Don't know if you guys remember Tony Scott. Sadly, the guy is no longer with us. And, I mean, you can look up information on that if you want to, if you haven't heard about it. But, yeah, pretty disturbing stuff in terms of, like, why he's no longer with us. But, nonetheless, I have always enjoyed his work. I've always thought he does some pretty damn good stuff, and maybe not always fantastic, but usually pretty good stuff, especially when it comes to his action films. So, Revenge. I was like, well, it looks kind of like an action-oriented movie, and it's from Tony Scott. Got Kevin Costner. Never heard of it, never seen it. I'm going to take a chance on it because it seems like something that I might like, that might actually be good, that just kind of slipped through the cracks. So, we'll see. Who knows, maybe it's just mediocre and that's why it slipped through the cracks. But you can't say no to Tony Scott. You got to give Tony Scott a chance, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we shall see. And then last but not least, here is the movie that I picked up here that is already paying for everything that I bought at Goodwill. So, as I mentioned before, 4 titles, buy 4, get them for $10 or $2.50 each, right? So, I already put this up for sale, and it's already going for $12.99 currently. So, it's gonna sell for more than what I paid for all 4 DVDs. Now, I'll explain why I put it up for sale, but first, let's just show you. Gate 2, Return to the Nightmare. When I saw this on the shelf, I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, first of all, I never see any old, like, rare, I wouldn't say necessarily rare, but, you know, horror movies like this on any, like, secondhand shelves, because these are usually the ones that get picked over by collectors immediately. Nobody leaves Gate 2 behind. Nope, that never just magically appears somewhere. It's always like one of those that immediately gets snagged up the second that it shows up in any store like Goodwill. So the mere fact that I was seeing it there was just like, holy cow. But then I look a little closer, like, there's got to be something wrong with it. No, the disc is almost immaculate. The disc is in almost immaculate condition. The only real big thing of note here was the back. It's got a little bit of a, even like the case itself, the plastic here has been like punched through or whatever. I don't know what caused that, but the disc again is in great condition. So I don't know. Now, when I got it, I had never actually seen The Gate or Gate 2 for that matter. So I decided, well, before I sell it, I'm going to go back and watch these movies. I found The Gate on Xfinity, on their Stream Picks thing, which is like, if you have Xfinity, you get to watch anything, I believe anything on Stream Picks for free. And that one was on there, so I watched it on there. And then after that I watched Gate 2 here on DVD, and I actually really liked it. And I know you're going to be saying, well, if you really liked it, then why are you selling it? Because it's going to be coming to Blu-ray in February. Literally in February, this movie is going to be on Blu-ray. But right now, it is currently out of print on DVD, rare, hard to find. Amazing that I even found it in the first place. So while it still has that value, I want to sell it for as much money as I can, use that money potentially to get the movie on Blu-ray, but honestly, I would probably use that money to get The Gate first on Blu-ray, because I don't have that on Blu-ray either, so it wouldn't make sense to have Gate 2 but not The Gate, you know what I mean? And then eventually I'll get around to getting Gate 2 as well, because honestly I did like it. I felt like it was a good horror movie. I like that they made these movies into, I don't know, what would you call it, like a kids' first horror film kind of thing. But they're kind of respectful of kids too, because they make it scary enough that it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not rated R, but it's still really creepy. And they've got the really effective practical effects. So yeah, the practical effects in this and in The Gate are phenomenal. They are so freaking good. I mean, if you're somebody who's a huge fan of practical effects, then you're probably going to like The Gate and Gate 2 here. So yeah, highly recommended. And again, it's coming to Blu-ray soon. The Gate is already on Blu-ray, so you can get both of them on Blu-ray very soon. And highly recommend doing that, because they're worth it. They're good movies. They're fun. They're not too crazy creepy for kids, because they're intended to be for kids. But they are creepy enough that it'll make you go, you know what I mean? Like, well, that's a little disturbing. So, yeah, ultimately, my pickups this week paid for themselves. Buying this alone paid for all of these. And again, like, I paid $10 and I'm getting all of that back plus some with this. So this, I guess you could say, was free, this was free, and this was free. Pretty good stuff if you ask me. So yeah, I am very happy with that little haul, if you will, from Goodwill. Of course, Usually I don't find much at Goodwill, so it was especially nice to be able to find anything good at Goodwill. And when I came across Gate 2 in particular, I was just like, that makes this entire trip worth it. And it really did. So, yeah. Anyways, that'll do it for me. Thanks for watching, you guys. Catch you later. Peace.